Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through my team preview for round 19, through who I am a little bit worried about. I mean, a couple of things have cleared up in my mind to make me think that there's only one or two guys that I'm worried about, even though at the start of the week it was more closer to 4 or so guys that I was worried might pull out, like say an 80 over guys that can pull out like a 110, 120. But as it sort of calmed down a little bit, as I think I've been lucky with, I guess, further research into Darcy Cameron. I think he's fine, and also with Laird being confirmed out, I think I'm also fine on that front with Keys. And it does mean that I missed the Laird bullet as well as the potential Butters bullet, but it looks like Butters will play, obviously. But that would be amazing for me if both of those missed, as it looks like guys would have to choose probably an LDU and Dunkley combo, which I still think is a good combo, but you do have the LDU tag from Windhager that I think people are slightly forgetting. But anyway, let's get into the video. But before we do, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So Dawson captain, this is because I have on some Pelly VC, and yeah, Dawson captain I think is a good call. I think it's a sensible one, even though it's against Melbourne. He's the only one in the midfield. They won't run a tag, I don't think, and if they do, it will be Viney. And he's got such good non-disposal numbers anyway. His lowest score since the buys are 1-2-3, and other than that 1-2-3 since round 10, since his 85 in round 10. And take out that 85, his next lowest score outside of that 85 is a 103, and then a 105, and then a 110, 112 actually, since going back until round 4. That's how ridiculous his form has been, and he's been ridiculous, and that's why he's D1 by a country mile. And I think he's more of a safety captain, but I do think Bont goes huge against Essendon tomorrow night. Dacos, 115 average for the year, 132 coming off of. Plays Port in a tough game. I think he does really well, but won't be my captain just because Port is a tough matchup. Simple as that. And yeah, Sicily is still my D3. A little bit disappointing, but comes up against Richmond, who I think are a really good scoring potential team for him. Hopefully he gets back into the marks, as having 5 marks was quite annoying, but also just only having the 11 kicks didn't really get him up high enough. And yeah, just got tagged out of the game, which was annoying as Hawks sort of cruised to it, and James Sicily was just like, what, do I even have to be on the field at this point, as they could have played 17 against 18 and still won. Doherty, yeah, he's doing his thing. He's so highly owned in the top 1,000, 10,000 or so that it doesn't really matter too much. He's 20% owned in the overall game, and I think he's probably around that 45% owned in the top 1,000 to 3,000 or so where I'm ranked. And he comes against the Eagles, so I'm not worried about that matchup at all. And hopefully he can, hopefully the Eagles put up something like 3 goals, 15 or something like that, where you can just have heaps of kickouts and heaps of disposals there. Sinclair against North, he probably cops a tag, but not too worried as he's so highly owned and has has Hawks, Carlton, Richmond, which should be a good run of fixtures for him, all at Marvel Stadium at least, so that's also good as well. Stewart, not worried about terribly much against Brisbane, but so highly owned that it doesn't really matter too much. And I think he's one that you could flip on in a couple of weeks if he ever goes down into the 700Ks, but not too worried. Campbell Chesser has Carlton, so hopefully he can just put together a good run. You got Oisen, who probably won't play against Brisbane, but he's looked alright in his rookie year, to be honest. Then you have Bont, who's my VC against Essendon. He should be able to run rings around them, to be honest, as I don't think he'll get tagged, and I think he could easily put up a non-disposal 80-point game. Like, take out the disposals, he could have 80 points. Like 10 tackles, 10 tackles, 7 marks or something like that. That gets you up to 60 odd, and then a couple goals as well. I mean, if you look at this game here, he had -5, +8, +32, so that's 40. He had a non-disposal 58 against the Swans. Add in the 66 +18, so 84. I think that's right. Is that right? Probably wrong. Or is it 58 that he scored here? 32-40, yeah. Was it 58 or 48? I'm not too certain. No, sorry, it's 58 here. 58 plus the 84 gets him up to the 142 as he scored. Yeah, I was 10 points off. I added an extra 10 points to non-disposal, but still a 58 is really, really good. And hopefully continue on. When you start getting above around that 40 or so above the non-disposal points, that's when you start going large. And that's that 7 combined or so and a couple goals. That's when you start getting into the 30 disposals, going to get you that 130, 140 score rather than a 30 disposal 7 mark effort can get you only somewhere around that 100 or so mark. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think Merritt might cop a tag somewhere, but it will be from Libba, so I don't think it will be too dangerous. And I think he just can get back into some form here, grab like a 25 or so disposal game, 25, 30 touches, get a 110 or something like that, and be happy with that. I think that's fine, as I'm pretty sure he has, after the Bulldogs game, he has a really nice fixtures until round 24, so you could look at Parrish next week. I think that's an option next week. If I wanted to get rid of, say, Himmelberg next week, just flip Keys into the forward line. But then also I do want to get Dunkley, so just getting Dunkley will help out massively, as Dunkley has the Suns. Dunkley actually has a decent run as well. So Dunkley and Parrish and LDU are probably on my books next week, one of those couple. But we'll have to wait and see with that. Petrarca against Adelaide hopefully does well, but he's got that forward role. But with Clayton Oliver still 3 to 4 away, I think he still gets that midfield role around 40 to 50%. And if he actually produces in the midfield, like he should be able to still get 60 or so points out of that midfield, 70 points. And then when he goes forward, he should just need to kick 2 or so goals to match it, I think. So I think he still gets the ton. It's just how many does he go? Does he go like 130, 140 like he can? Or does he go like that 115 or so? Brayshaw, midfield against Sydney, should go nuts. Don't think he'll cop much of a tag. So I'm looking forward to this game. But we'll have to wait and see. I do think he can put up a 5-mark, 8 or 9 tackle game against them, and that'll get him already up towards that 50 non-disposal, and then have, say, 30-odd disposals. That gets him, say, 70 points, or 120, I think, is on the cards here for Brayshaw. Crouch plays North and won't cop a tag, so I think he goes nuts in this game, not going to lie. I think he was closely monitored in the other game by Rao. I think they were sort of monitoring each other. So I think he plays. He could honestly go to LDU. Him or Windy will go to LDU, I think. And I think they'll stifle LDU, so I'm not looking forward to LDU's output, but I could be completely wrong. But yeah, I think Crouch will bounce back this week. Viney's in at the moment, but I need to converse with others about who I'm going to go here. Could be Viney, could be... I don't think it will be LDU. I don't think it will be... let me just go back to who I put in the tweet that I put out. I said Viney, Parrish, Sarong, Scott, Neil, LDU. Looking at what I'm thinking personally, not going to go LDU as I think there is a tag risk there. Not going to go Neil because I think I want to bet against his non-marking games. Scott, I'm not ready for a pod like that just yet, as I think I want to go for the high-scoring, like almost definite guys rather than a pod. Sarong could be the guy that I go for. So I think it's between Viney, Parrish, and Sarong for that last spot. Took could be a mention, but I think it's between those sort of 3 to 4 guys there that I'll go for. And yeah, Viney's one of them, and I think he's a good shout with Oliver being out for 3 to 4 weeks, so I just put him in for this video. Steele, just hoping he continues, should be back to his best. To be honest, starting to get, 36 tackles in 4 weeks, average of 9 tackles since the Brisbane game, and still getting, 18 marks, so that's 4.5 marks a game. So that's 9 tackles, 4.5 marks, that's 13.5 marks in tackles a game, which gets you at least 40 non-disposals. And yeah, hoping for maybe a goal or 2 against North, but we'll wait and see with Steele. Keys, I'm hoping he gets that midfield role against Melbourne, as he could really be damaging against them. and he could honestly put up anything, but we'll have to wait and see with him. But I do like how he has had a low of 70. Is quite annoying, but I do think he can come back strong in the next game. Noah Long and Newland, I wasn't able to this week, sadly, because Newland is such an early game. Well, he's such a late game. And a lot of my guys, like, if Windhager was in the early game, I think this would work a lot better. But a lot of my strong bench guys are in the later rounds, later games. So unless Noah Long does really well, I think Himmelberg will be playing. I mean, if Noah Long does well, then I can swap Newland in here, but into Keys' role, and then Keys flips Keys for Parrish, and then Parrish, and then Keys into this forward line, etc., and Himmelberg as the utility. But we'll have to wait and see on that front. I wasn't able to rectify the Darcy Cameron situation with getting the best out of Windhager. I'm going to have to just guess that Darcy Cameron does score more than Windhager, even though Windhager's on a hot streak at the moment. The last three he's got an 83, last five 76, sorry. But we'll just have to hope with that. But yeah, so there's that. English and Romo, sort of just consistent guys. I hope they put up big scores. I mean, English has what looks to actually be a really positive matchup this week. Then he's got Giants, tough matchup. Richmond will be a tough matchup because Nank will be back. And then I think he has 3 good matchups to end the year. Romo has North Melbourne against Sherry. I think that's a positive matchup. I do think Hawks are a good matchup. And with Pitnet probably back, this turns into a bad matchup. But we'll have to wait and see with that one for Romo. And then Williams is hopefully just gaining some cash. Hopefully he can get up towards that 300k so he can actually be used as a trade out next week. Then you've got Goulden here, Goulden, Taranto, Rosie, Canelo. There's not much to talk about these guys. These guys are going to be here for the rest of the year unless they get injured. Looking good with them. 111. Taranto is 119. If we look here, Rosie 104. Looking good. And Cogs 103. He's not even looked too bad, but glad that I got him in probably at the right time. He's gone 140, 136, 105. That's really good for me. An average of 120 in my side. Himmelberg, I need him to pick up, but he does have Gold Coast, so hopefully he can just get 10 marks, 15 marks games. Just have one of those types of games. And then you've got Darcy Cameron, and hopefully he can come back against Port, who actually, even with Lycett in there, actually, the stats say it's actually a good matchup. I'm surprised about that necessarily. And he does have this game with Pitnet potentially out still. This could open up this game as well. Hawks, I think, is still a good enough game for him. And then he's got Cats, Lions, Bombers, and he'll be out of my side by then sometime, as I'll be getting... My initial thoughts are to get someone like a Took, get someone like Dunkley, and also get Butters in. I hope that's the 3 that I can fit, as I basically need around about, probably when I trade Took in, 80Ks from Keys' point. I need around about 350 from Himmelberg up to, so I need 40k more still off field, after taking off, I have 40k or so to spend of my remaining balance if I was to get Keys to Took at that time or so, give or take, because I think Took will be 80k when I get him in. So I still have 40k plus my Windhager, which is 300k, so that should be able to get me up to Dunkley, and then I'd have to find a solution to get Cameron up to Butters, which I think is possible with obviously Noah Long. So I think I'll be able to actually complete my side, and then getting Stewart up to someone like maybe chance it on Houston or something like that, or another defender like Scott in the last couple of rounds from Chester should be fine. And that'll be basically how I'm looking at trading my side around. Windtaker hopefully just makes some more cash. I mean, I don't know his break even necessarily, but I think it's around 30. Windhager 24. So if he goes huge, he could make another 50, 60k. He could end up around 600k and really be helpful for getting Dunkley up to getting Dunkley from Himmelberg, as I think that'll really help out my side. But we'll have to wait and see on that front. But that is basically the video. My trades at the moment are these. Sheldrick out for the year. Johnson, with Sarong coming back, his numbers will drop, and I'm just not willing to take another 15-point half. Cannot take that. So I'm going to get him out of the side now and get them up to Paris, and I'd have 128k. So I could actually get Dunkley, but I don't think I will, as I want another midfielder at this point, and I think there's more value, and I think Dunkley with a tough matchup against Geelong, I believe he has. Is that right in saying, do I have a Geelong player? Stewart. Yeah, he's got the Geelong matchup, was a tough matchup, so I don't think he goes large this week. I think he just goes for 100. I'm betting against him this week and going for Viney, and we'll have to wait and see what he actually scores, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just going to flip on to him. Yeah, he's back to 40. He's at 42%. I think that'll go up to 55 or 60% by this time next week, and hopefully I'll be included in that, those people who get him. But yeah, that's the video there, and I'll see you guys in another video, which will probably be the game reviews. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be able to bring out the video game content that I wanted to, just because it was a busy week and I had some stuff on, etc. But yeah, we'll get, there'll be videos out on the channel on Saturday probably, so yeah, that'll be good, and I'll see you guys then. Thanks guys, goodbye.